lights went out in Washington today. The U.S. government shut down. That means no paychecks, no parks, no progress, no passports. We're going to be breaking down what's really going down with the shutdown, what it means for you, your family, and your future.
Yeah, and to the Do We Have to crew, thank you for joining us for another episode of Do We Have to, a marriage podcast. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Emily.
It's not actual family studios production. Executive producer Colin, Smedium, Mascal.
Yeah.
And we got a wonderful show for you today, guys. Obviously, Emily just mentioned the main topic. We're going to be talking about the government shutdown. What does that even mean? What does that entail? How does it affect us? How does it affect married couples? But how does it just affect us in general as individuals, right? And then, of course, we're just going to continue on with our wonderful show segments that we normally bring you every week. Yep. 90s nostalgia and our wonderful Let's Get Deep by Relatable.
Yeah, we're going to check in with Peloton. Our Peloton crew got some exciting news today through Peloton, so I'm excited to chat about that.
Absolutely. And then we'll end the show, of course, with all of our wonderful socials. And of course, you're getting this show right now, youtube.com/ Do We Have to, a marriage podcast. And of course, we're available on pretty much every major social media outlet, as well as all major podcast apps.
Yeah.
So 90s Nostalgia M, September 28th through October 4th.
Yeah.
Some interesting things have occurred, some so not so much, but
I think I know one of these.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I disagree. I think once we start talking about this a little bit, I guess there's some things, but I don't know. I think we're going to be good here. I think people are going to enjoy this. And there's, some good music. There's some movies. There's some world events.
Yeah.
It's all good. Emily and I are babies of the 80s, children of the 90s. We grew up on, we lived through startup internet, which that sadly ended the other day. AOL actually just brought down their dial-up internet. And
did they really?
Yeah, they did.
That
AOL
sound will be forever known. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And there's so many people that have no idea what I'm talking about right now, potentially. No. The 20 people that are listening to the show, and but it's a crazy time. But we grew up with the Beanie Babies and the Nintendos and all the fun things, Power Rangers, Transformers, all that good stuff, and we love talking about 90s nostalgia. And so for this week, from September 28th through October 4th, October 1st, let's go in chronological order. October 4th, 1990, big world event. East Germany's aviation authority merges into West Germany's, which is a symbolic post-Cold War combination of the Berlin Wall movement.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't really? Not at all?
No.
You remember tearing down the wall, right?
Yeah, I mean...
Mr. Kovacic, tear that wall down. Remember Reagan? No?
No,
Do you not remember the famous quote?
I mean, I've heard it, but I don't remember... physically hearing.
Crazy. Dad, Papa Ron, my dad, he was in Frankfurt when that wall was still up. And so when he would travel to work in the morning, he would pass through the wall temporarily to get to his, because he did embassy duty. He did embassy duty all over the world. And the wall was still up and in play when he was doing embassy duty over in Frankfurt.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, but no, it was one of those things. It was kind of the significance of the end of the Cold War, that time where the USSR was starting to break apart. And kind of you see the global geopolitical situation that we've got going on today. A lot of the things that happened and how Russia broke up are affecting that today and what we're dealing with now with Russia and Ukraine.
It's a mess.
Yeah, but I mean, it's part of it, right? And at one point, Germany was split in half, which I don't think there's a ton of people that don't realize that Germany was split into East Germany and West Germany for a period of time, which again, control of that was kind of between, obviously, the allied powers of the United States and Europe, and then, of course, Russia and then the communist side of things. That's how that all worked.
Got it.
Yep. Let's see here. October 2nd, 1992, Glenn Ross released. You really don't know this movie?
No.
You know who? Listen to this cast. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Al Pacino, Jack Lemmon. The guy from Grumpy Old Men. Well, I hate saying that because the Odd Couple, Grumpy Old Men, did a bunch of stuff with Walter Matthau.
Oh, I know Walter.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The other guy that's opposite of him in multiple things, right?
Okay.
Alec Baldwin.
Nice.
Alan Larkin. He's been in a ton of stuff.
Okay.
Remember we watched, what movie was it? Grosse Point Blank?
Yeah.
Remember, what's the main character in that? I love him very much. What the hell is his name in real life? Oh my God, why can't I know that? John Cusack.
Okay.
The therapist he's seeing. Remember he's seeing a therapist to talk about being a hitman?
Oh.
Before he goes?
Yeah.
That's Alan Larkin.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. And then Ed Harris.
Oh.
Yeah. A huge cast. And you know what it's about?
No.
Real estate agency. Not kidding you. True story.
That's fun.
You remember, you love The Office. Obviously.
I do.
When Michael Scott's like, always be closing.
Yeah.
And then he starts doing, always be closings from Glenn Ross.
Got it.
Glenn Ross. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Always be closing.
That's a horrible
That's
name.
where that. It was a movie, a very popular movie. It's got well over a 7 on IMDb.
I'm sure.
But I feel like you would like it because it's kind of like like Wall Street. You're right. You know what I mean? But it is specifically related to real estate.
Interesting.
Yep. Let's see here. October 1st, 1993, MTV Latin America launches, expanded MTV's reach globally, fueling the Latin pop explosion. I don't remember there being, well, you know what? Actually, I do. Late 90s, I remember there being an MTV Latin America. Do you remember that at all? That was it was a separate channel. Like if you had the full cable package.
We did not.
Yeah, poor Emily. She grew up not in a bad way. It was actually probably a positive thing for you. But Emily didn't have the full cable package, so she did not have MTV Latin America.
I don't even know.
It's like ESPN in Spanish.
I think
right?
we got.
You know what I mean?
I think we got MTV when I was in like high school.
Really?
Yeah.
That's when you first watched MTV?
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. It was very much middle school, like early middle school for me.
Yeah, no.
But that's when they started expanding globally. I mean, MTV obviously was a big thing, even in the 80s, like rock and wrestling, like Hulk Hogan, Cyndi Lauper, like all that stuff. And then as that continued on and the video music movement, it blew up in the United States, obviously, but you can tell it was expanding out there. And there was an MTV Europe too.
Yeah.
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 No?
I only know of
Okay.
the one. And yeah.
All right.
I
How
was
about
late
this?
to start.
October 2nd, 1995, and this was played on MTV pretty regularly. Oasis releases What's the Story? Morning Glory. And,
The Wonderwall.
Well, Morning Glory, I think, was actually named question mark, which includes Wonderwall and Don't Look Back in Anger.
I know Wonderwall.
Do you like Wonderwall? How much do you listen to that? That was when we were in high school.
I mean,
You're my Wonderwall.
yeah.
Did you listen to that in the radio or driving around?
Yeah.
Said maybe.
Yeah, I know the song.
Do you
It's
really?
like playing in my head right now.
Okay. All right. I think that band
But I'm
is actually
pretty sure
a really
that's
good
the only
band.
song
And
I know from them.
super talented band, but I feel like a little bit underrated because you're just, I don't know. But from my understanding, just very similar to Smashing Pumpkins, the lead singer is kind of a douche.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
No.
That's the thing I've heard. And I say that as I've never had any interaction with the person by any means. And I've actually never seen them interacting with other people. That is just total hearsay in regards to that band. But that's what I've heard. The lead singer is a douchebag. That does, I mean, that's not
what,
like it's an
Oasis?
uncommon thing. Yeah. It's not like it's an uncommon thing with bands.
No.
That's why
I
I
mean,
mentioned Smashing Pumpkins.
they can all be little divas.
And I like Billy Corgan, but from my understanding, he has his own dressing room. He doesn't dress or do the dressing room thing with his own band. They've broken up multiple times, right? I believe Oasis has broken up multiple times.
I mean,
somebody's got to be the problem.
How many albums does Oasis even have?
Several.
Pretty sure. Oh, really?
Yeah, several.
I'm going to have to get on Apple Music and see if I can
Definitely more than
find
one.
more. Because seriously, like Wonderwall is probably the only one I can think of right now that I actually know.
As far as like, oh, well, mainstream, you mean commercial? No, they've got multiple hits, but I think those are most commercially popular in the U.S.
Yeah.
Remember, they're an English band.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Let's see here. So then we've got October 3rd, 1997, Boogie Nights premieres, which was Paul Thomas Anderson's breakout film, an iconic late 90s release. Now, he actually has a new movie out.
Never saw that movie.
Paul Thomas Anderson's guys just did the One Battle After Another, which is starring Leo DiCaprio and Benicio del Toro.
Kind of want to see that one.
I really want to see that too. I think it looks really good. But this was like, hey, I'm here, I've arrived type of movie for him. You know what Boogie Nights is about?
No, I've never seen it.
So, buckle up.
Okay.
Boogie Nights starring...
It's not about dancing?
No, it takes place in the 70s.
Okay.
And then eventually goes into the 80s. But 70s, Mark Wahlberg is the main star. But it's like Mark Wahlberg, Burt Reynolds, Julianne Moore. What's a guy who's in Step Brothers but is not Will Ferrell?
Oh, he's the other brother.
John C. Reilly?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Or John C. O'Reilly. John C. Reilly.
Something like that.
Yeah. They're in it. So... he plays it's loosely based off of John Holmes, the story of John Holmes. I don't know if you know who that is. He's a porn star.
Oh, well.
And there was a very famous event that occurred where essentially John Holmes was associated with like a person getting murdered during a bad drug deal. And then there's obviously this whole life of being a porn star and the things that he had to deal with, addiction and all those sorts of things. Well, John Holmes eventually died from AIDS. This movie itself is more about how this person got into the porn industry, the effects that the porn industry had on him, and also his home environment. Yeah. And then eventually did have that kind of event where a person gets murdered. Thomas Jane. You know Thomas Jane? I'm trying to think.
I don't know any porn stars.
No. Famous actor. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say famous. Like he's, fucking... the best of all time. But Thomas Jane's been in a ton of stuff. Blonde guy from, he was the original theatrical Punisher before or right after Dolph Lundgren. He also...
I don't know anything about the Punisher.
I'm trying to think of what you would see him in that you would have watched. But I can't for the life of me even think of that. He's been in a ton of movies. If
he was in The Punisher, was he in Batman?
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. He is Two-Face in the Christian Bale Batmans. Is that Thomas Jane? No, that's not Thomas Jane.
Oh.
That's not Thomas Jane. No, damn it. It's not Thomas Jane. But Thomas Jane's been in a ton of movies. Remember that movie I told you about, The Mist, the Stephen King book that's a movie?
Yeah.
And then also... Dreamcatcher, which is another Stephen King book that they adapted in the movie.
But I've not seen them.
Thomas Jane's okay. I can't help you if you don't ever watch movies. But Thomas Jane's a good actor. He was in that movie. He's the one who ends up getting shot in the movie. But Boogie Nights is really, really good. I mean, there's a huge cast.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I'm trying to remember who else. There's other people. Guy from Kansas City that was also in Crash. He plays War Machine in all the Marvel movies. I really wish, I don't know what it is. When we get on this podcast, like, you know me, I can just regurgitate actors, actresses, movies. We get on this, and unless I have notes in front of me, I can't remember. Don Cheadle.
Thank you.
Remember Don Cheadle?
Yeah, I didn't know he's from Kansas City.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, that's really cool.
He had a nephew that played for Mizzou.
Nice.
Played a cornerback for him. But yeah, no, he's in it too. Plays a porn star in the movie as well. Oh, and also Philip Seymour Hoffman's in it. There's more than just that, too. There's multiple Academy Award winners that are in this. William H. Macy is in it. William H. Macy shoots himself in the movie.
That's
because his wife keeps cheating on him, and he fucking flips out, and eventually he shoots her and the guy that she's with that are in the moment.
Double homicide.
And then he shoots himself. Murder. Yeah, wild, right?
Yeah.
We got to watch that movie. Now I want to watch that movie. It's a good movie. It's just, it is dark. It's dark. It's great. But that was Paul Thomas Anderson's baby. So it was, yeah. But yeah, that's our quick trip back.
Sets up the one thing after another movie for me pretty well. It's going to be a lot.
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Not good.
I do think he has great attention to detail. His cinematography is fantastic. And he brings the best out of high-level actors. So if anybody, I haven't seen the movie yet, but I've heard nothing but good things about One Battle After Another. Highly recommend you go see it. Plus Leo DiCaprio and Benicio del Toro. So what do you have a chance to lose there, right?
Well, I mean, I'm going to go see Taylor Swift instead.
Well, there you go. But we can see this too. But yeah, that's our quick trip back to the 90s. Now let's bring it forward to the present with a question that could go anywhere, straight from the Let's Get Deep card deck.
Yes.
So Let's Get Deep. It's a game that Emily and I play every week on this show. So if this is the first time you're listening, welcome. But it's by a company called Buy Relatable.
Yep.
This has actually been featured on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. There's multiple card types. There's Icebreaker, Deep, and Deeper.
Yep.
The game version that Emily and I have are perfect for if you're dating somebody or if you've even been married for 13 years like Emily and I. These are questions that allow you to get to know each other deeper or spark conversations to allow you to deepen and strengthen your relationship. They also have versions that are associated with building relationships with your friends, as well as talking about sexy time.
Yeah.
So, Emily, what are we doing this week?
We're going to do an icebreaker card.
Love it.
And our question today is, where's the most unusual place you've fallen asleep?
You want me to go or do you want to go? I know my answer.
Yeah, I'll let you go.
I mean, I guess it's really not that unusual. But for me, it's unusual. Right after our honeymoon, Emily and I went to Mexico for our honeymoon.
We did.
So we stayed at the Riviera Maya.
Yep.
We had a lot of fun.
We did.
We did get it all inclusive. And I think for anybody that has been down to Mexico and done an all inclusive, it's all you can eat, all you can drink, right? So pretty much from, I would say about 8 o'clock in the morning till, what do you think, babe? 7, 8 o'clock at night?
Yep.
We were drinking.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever done that before. Even in college, that was not a regular consistent thing. You have Thursday through Sunday, basically, right? And even then, I didn't do that. Maybe I had a couple days during the week, and mainly it was Saturday when I drank a majority of the day. Never been doing that for a consistent period of time. We did that the entire time, even on our excursions, like to Xel-Há, which is fantastic. If you're going down to Mexico, if you get a chance, Xel-Há is like a inlet that they roped off, and it's like its own aquarium that you can swim in, and there's all this fun stuff you can do. A lot of fun. We drank pretty much the whole time.
Yep.
On our way back, we landed in Atlanta from Mexico. And I'm like, there is something wrong with me. And do you remember this?
Yes, you were going through it.
There was something wrong. Remember? And I was like, I had to eat something. We ate these like chili burgers or some shit.
Airport food.
Now, granted, I wasn't in the best shape of my life during that time.
No,
but
neither was I.
We ate that food and I was like, oh, I think the food's making me sick. And then I remember I laid down. There was like a bench.
Yep.
And there's like these benches over here. You have the window of the glass where you can see the thing. And there was kind of this thing like blocking the ground. So you couldn't see like what was underneath the chairs. And I remember thinking, people are going to judge me if I just fall asleep in this chair or I'm like shaking and have the chills here. So I'm just going to lay back behind there. So I got up and I went around and act like I was looking at the window and I leaned down and then I just laid down. And then and I remember you looking over the chair. So like, here's you. And you're like, are you okay? And I'm like here and I'm just shaking and everything. I was like, I think I have the flu.
Going through withdrawals.
And we realized maybe like a couple weeks later, we were talking about it. You probably have an alcohol withdrawals.
Yeah.
Very Nick Cage leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That's for me. Yep.
Yeah.
It was probably a combination of things of why it was the weirdest. Well, how about you?
Mine would probably be college.
Good start. Maryville is the weirdest place you slept?
No. It would be the booth at the bar.
Oh, really? You fell asleep? What bar?
Oddly enough, and not odd, is the Palms.
Oh, yeah. Shout out Aunt Jess and Uncle Jeff. Last time we were at the Palms, we were with them.
Fell asleep in our booth. We all had claimed booths. If you went to Maryville, you understand. Fell asleep in our booth. I don't even know
What's your booth? There's like 6 booths in that place.
Yeah, it was the one.
Shout out Northwest Missouri State, by the way.
It was the last one before the door.
Bearcats.
Like the last one before the
back door or front
to the
door?
garden. Yeah, to the beer garden.
So back door.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting. So it's a dive bar in Maryville, Missouri. If you're not familiar with Missouri, it's a small
not
town
there
in Northwest
anymore.
Missouri. Oh, it's gone? Palms don't exist anymore?
I don't.
It's one of my favorite Aunt Jess and Uncle Jeff stories. And I'm not going to go into details on it. But what I will say is that the bartender was not kind to my wonderful, who I consider sister Aunt Jess, and rightfully so. She got hot about it. And my son's godmother, when she gets mad,
she gets mad.
I've known her since we were kids. You leave her the fuck alone.
Yeah, and I tried to fix it.
Poor Emily. And I tried telling you 50,000 times that night, don't go over there and try to
I know,
cheer
but
up
like the bartender was rude to me too. So
no,
I
get it.
The
bartender was being a dick. Whoever, hey, back, what year was that?
Well, we were celebrating our 30th. So
that was 10 years ago. Whoever's bartender at the Palms
9.
10 years ago, Saturday night during football season, you're a fucking asshole. And you don't treat your alumni very well. And that's very disappointing. You need to, check yourself on that.
Or maybe you shouldn't go backwards to celebrate your 30th.
No, not at all. You can. And people need to be respectful of that. Here's the thing. Second, these higher institutions of learning only exist because of alumni and fundraising and federal aid. That's pretty much the fucking, for public.
Yeah.
That's it. So you respect your fucking elders when they're here. And when they want to celebrate their 30th birthday and they want to have a good time and let loose and just go live some nostalgia, shout out 90s nostalgia, they want to fucking do it. And Aunt Jess wasn't treated right, and rightfully so. She got hot about it. But Aunt Jess, who I love more than anything in the whole world, when she gets mad, you leave her the fuck alone. And she corrects herself. You don't need to talk her down. She'll figure it out. And she's what did you try to do, Em?
Tried to talk her down.
You did. And how'd that work out?
Not well.
Aunt Jess made Emily cry that night.
She did.
And it was fantastic. And you came over and I was like, you like what happened?
No.
Like how that went down? Is that how you thought it would go?
No.
We love you, Aunt Jess.
We do.
One of my favorite nights of all time.
Yeah. Celebrating 25 was really bad for me. Celebrating 30 was really bad for her.
Me too. I think her and I were both in the same mindset where it was depressing. A lot of times her and I align a ton is how we feel about things.
Yeah.
Which is why, we've always just been close in that way. Feel the exact same way. I'm curious to see what she thinks about 40. Because that's coming up.
Skip that.
Yeah. No, not at all. Not at all. But I'd be curious to see what she thinks about that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, I fell asleep in the booth. I don't know if I necessarily fell asleep or passed out, but neither way. I was sleeping, and I'm pretty sure one of my friends had to carry me home.
Carry you home?
Well, we lived right down the street, so it's not like it was far.
Have we talked about this before? Does people know about the rule or the law in Maryville?
Yeah, we've talked about it.
We have?
Yeah.
Well, for the Do We Have to crew that hasn't listened to previous episodes, we're on episode, 39?
Yeah.
We would probably talk about this episode 10, 12, whatever. In Maryville, there's a law that if more than 5 women live together, it's considered a brothel. Yep. Super fucked. Sure. We're going to be talking about politics here shortly, so just buckle up.
We're not going to be talking about that.
The people, the ladies who would be living together, whatever, they had to be mindful about how many lived in the same house, otherwise it'd be considered a brothel.
Yeah.
Regardless if you're paying for sex.
No.
Which was anybody there where you lived?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just saying, but either way, they would have considered it a brothel.
We're not a bunch of prostitutes. Sorority girls are not hookers.
It's a great question answered, Emily. And with that question answered, it's time to shift to the biggest issue of the week.
Yeah.
Government shutdown. What that entails, right? I think a lot of people, so here's the thing. Just let's start out right there, right? Government shutdown. Do you think a majority of American people really truly understand what that means as far as how that plays out?
No.
I agree. And I will say, I think I had a basic understanding of it before we started doing the research on it and kind of what that entails.
I had none.
And then historically how it's been used or why this happens. I mean, it's very interesting how that affects the average American family. I honestly, at the end of the day, not that much, but honestly, it can acutely affect people just depending on what you do for a living,
right.
What you're doing at the time, right? You and I were just talking about it. We were talking about getting passports for the kids for our upcoming vacation with the Shermans.
Yeah.
For during Christmas time. Guess what? Government shutdown happens. That shit slows the fuck down to a halt.
Yeah, we're gonna.
So we're gonna send off our paperwork for the passport. God, I hope it gets here before Christmas. We don't know at this point, right? And I think it's just a statement of politics in general, right? So like what does actually happen? Federal funding, right? There's certain things that lapse. There's multiple agencies that pause, right? jobs that are considered non-essential, people stop getting paid for that. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, they get furloughed.
Or they'll be doing the job and they're just not getting paid for it for a period of time, which then again, they may end up saying, hey, you're not fucking paying me. I'm not going to work. Right. So you're talking about maybe airport work, TSA, that sort of stuff. Correct. Mm-hmm. The essential workers continue, unfortunately, without pay. Non-essential workers, like you had mentioned, are furloughed. National parks close.
Yep.
Passport, visa processing delayed, as we had mentioned. Grants, contracts frozen. So a lot of the ancillary, like the outside things that do keep things moving, but like things that doesn't necessarily affect an average American family that is, living and working in this country doesn't affect.
Basically, like the government's purse, like their checkbook is shut.
Right. And this all started on October 1st. So what previously took place is that, obviously the House passed a bill to continue funding going. This has been a regular thing. And I think this is a lot of big reason why a lot of people typically don't react to the threat of a government shutdown, because it's kind of like you and I were talking about this earlier today. It's kind of like back right after September 11th. Like people freaked the fuck out because it was like, oh my God, fucking planes are running into buildings. What the fuck is going on? All of a sudden, every day you're inundated with a color of a threat of another terrorist attack. Well, guess what happened after 6-7 months?
Like the orange threat
orange,
days,
red, whatever it was.
Nobody cared
you
anymore.
got numb to it, right?
Yeah.
And I think more and more is what's been happening is that this threat of a government shutdown, I think it's always been used for political posturing.
Yeah.
But what it was used for previously was to actually force negotiation, force bipartisan politics to take place. Now where it's happening is that you have two sides in a very divisive political environment just digging their heels in and refusing to work together. Well, and now we're in the process of actual shutdown because people aren't getting things done. No.
And I think it's important to note that this is the first actual shutdown for the last 7 years. Like this is like the first one.
Yeah, it happened the last time this administration. Well, I shouldn't say this administration, but this president was in power. And I'm not in no way am I trying to shit on anybody or who the president is at this point in time. Obviously Emily and I have talked about this many times where we voted Democrat. That's where our values typically align. But I do think this speaks more to the divisive nature of politics that we're currently in, where there's nothing about this that has anything to do with benefiting the average American citizen.
Not specifically like individually, one person, groups of people are affected.
Well, right. But I'm just saying there's just not the thought of actually, it seems like thinking about how we're going to properly serve the left, the right, and the middle, which I would say we tend to go more towards the middle, how these things are going to affect them on a day-to-day basis. I don't think that's really being thought of anymore. I think you're really seeing extremist politics happening where we're catering to very small minorities of the political parties on each side. We're utilizing media to overtly threaten, create hysteria, hype up things happening about how both sides are being awful and evil. And then you have infighting, not only between the constituents or the politicians themselves, but also the people that vote for them. And that allows for not only the Republican Party that's in charge right now, but also the Democratic Party to not be responsible for actually doing what they're supposed to do, which is taking care of all the American citizens.
Yeah.
It's super fucked.
Yeah.
So right now we're in the process of obviously going through this. Why October 1st, right? I know that. Year. Right. And you want to explain that?
Well, it's just.
So for everybody to understand why this all of a sudden took place last night at midnight, that was the deadline. What was that about?
The federal fiscal year starts on October 1st. So without the budget getting passed or continued resolution, the shutdown automatically triggers. And so basically there's gridlock happening over spending priorities, immigration funding, debt limit negotiations. It seems like this shutdown is centered around healthcare, going back to the big, beautiful bill or whatever it was called that Trump put into place earlier this year. So the Democrats want the healthcare lightened or modified. Republicans don't. They want the Medicare back, Medicaid, all of that stuff to come back into place. And, all of the funding that got taken away, they want it to come back. So that's not going to happen.
Well, you say it's not going to happen. It's Republicans are saying they're not going to negotiate on that.
Right.
Democrats are saying, well, hey, we're not going to sign off on this bill. And right now, as it works today, I think there was 53 votes or whatever, in Congress. There's a rule filibuster. There needs to be 60 total votes. Mm-hmm. That's not there right now. And there's even a couple Republicans that aren't voting on this. And then they have to get over at least 7 Democrats. Yeah. And I think there's only been 1 Democrat that has even voted for this bill in general. So you really have a complete stall in the political process from a bipartisan politics perspective happening right now. And probably, I know these things have happened before, but I do feel like this is unique and different because we are kind of coming into this new era of politics in the United States. There's no longer this civility that occurred, after World War II, where things are cordial, congenial. People are trying to work together, and really the mindset doesn't necessarily mean truly these politicians are working on the benefit of us or to benefit us. However, at least that was what was being portrayed. Seems like now it's well, we don't give a fuck. You vote us in. We don't really care truly at the core of what you want. We're here to do what we intend to do. And I think you made a really good point. This is the biggest thing from a Democratic perspective of why they're not allowing this bill to go through is they want to reestablish things that were taken away from the Affordable Care Act. And then, of course, Medicaid or Medicare. Sorry if I misstated that, but reinstate some things that were taken away. Yeah. But I also think, here's the thing, I'm a Democratic voter, but I'll be the first one to admit, here's my frustration. And here's where I can say I understand where people that have voted for Donald Trump, while I don't agree with him as a human being or how he presents himself or where he's taking us as a country thus far. And now, granted, we got obviously multiple years left and we'll see where this goes, but I'm not on board with it. The fact is that he stated all these things he was going to be doing, which repealing Obamacare, right? Yeah. And doing all these, he's doing them.
Yeah.
What I will say,
he's not going back on his word.
Right. And I will say, so, which it's just frustrating because as being a Democrat voter, I'm getting really tired of the lack of ability to actually truly affect change. I hear a bunch of things that this party is stating that they're going to do. And then I'm just seeing a lot of rhetoric and focus on a very small percentage of population. And while their rights and things I believe in, like LGBTQ community, transgender issues, those types of things, I think they're important. And I think they need to be a part of the overall political process. And I think they deserve their own rights. But when that's the main focus of the political agenda, it's no wonder why we are where we are and why we've lost 2 out of the last 3 elections.
Well, it's not only that, but it's just, it's become such a political weapon for... Are you talking about the government shutdown itself? Yeah, and the budgeting and all of these massive bills. The problem isn't just one big, beautiful bill. It's everything that was entailed inside of it. And so they want to nitpick at every little thing, but really it should never all been closed into one in the first place. But it was, and it passed, and there's nothing that we can do about it as as citizens right now. Like, that's the other part that's frustrating is as a citizen, as a voting citizen who's going to be directly affected by something like this, there's nothing I can personally do to move the needle, you know?
Not right now, but I mean, I do think we have to really
stuck.
be mindful going forward of who we vote for and what we do.
Yes.
Here's the thing. I think this is the most frustrating, and I take accountability for this myself as a voter. Until we really start taking stock in getting to know and understanding the people that we actually put into power, and we actually do support and have true good human beings, or as good a human beings as possible, filling these roles, we're going to be dealing with what we're going to be dealing with.
It's not just getting to know the person, it's getting to know where their policies lie and understanding what's behind the motive for the policy.
But it's not just about their policies, though, too, is that they have policies, but are they willing to reassess, not even reassess, but just be understanding of the fact that that's not going to be 100% of what happens, right? And that they have to work with a whole nother party. For example.
Well, but do they? Because Trump is making it very clear that he doesn't have to work with another party.
Well, I do think you're seeing the executive office being utilized in a different way than what we've seen in existence, at least since you and I have been around.
Yeah.
And I think that's an issue, but that's what's going to continue to happen. But what I will say is that there's human beings out there. All I can go off of, I can think of one person for me. You know what I mean? Somebody who I have a relationship with, somebody who I've seen do multiple political jobs. Wes Rogers. He's our city councilman for us here in Kansas City. I have a ton of fucking respect for what he brings to the table. And what I will say about that is that doesn't mean he just blindly sits there and listens to me and then agrees with whatever I'm saying. And it doesn't mean he just blindly just goes with whatever the platform of the Democratic Party is. He's a Democrat. He's a state rep. He's a city councilman. He is somebody, though, that I really do truly believes in bipartisan politics, cares about what the average voter or just a general American citizen should have access to, which is healthcare, roof over their head, food at night. Their family should have that sort of things. The people that are contributing to this country should get that at the bare minimum. Yeah. He's always shown that. And I do think that I look forward to seeing whatever he ends up doing in the future, but I think we need to have more people like him a part of the political process. I just think a lot of them just aren't that way.
I think that's where that compromise is missing. Like, nobody right now is willing to compromise. Yeah. Everybody has their heels dug in. And unfortunately, they're not really going to be the ones affected by it. Us.
Well, that's the worst part. They still get a fucking paycheck. Right. They argue. They shit on all of us in the sense, when I say they shit on all of us, all they want us to be doing is fighting with each other. And that's the side I voted for just as much as the side that I'm not going to vote for. They want us to be fighting with each other. They do. They want to push their agenda. Yeah. And then ultimately what happens. And then this is all posturing. And here's the thing that's frustrating about it. So I do feel like the expectation is that it's a Republican-controlled Senate, right? It's a Republican-controlled House. It's a Republican-controlled White House. So Democrats are going to look at this and say, well, it's their fault.
Well, nobody wants to take responsibility for it.
Well, no, I'm just saying traditionally, whoever's in charge from a government perspective, that's who looked at as at fault. Mm-hmm. We're in a completely different era of politics. They don't fucking care. And if you're thinking that's going to give you some sort of control in the future in this next presidential race, it's not going to do it. And you're just doing the same shit over and over again, expecting a different result, which is the definition of insanity. And I just don't understand it. You guys have had, on the Democratic side, you guys have had plenty of fucking time to figure this, at least have a path forward strategically, have a path forward of something, but just be transparent. You're sitting here talking about how, hey, here's what we don't like what they're doing with healthcare, so we're trying to get that back. What specifically are you doing? And hey, I will take responsibility. I haven't been following it as close, but I will say, I just don't think they do a good job. And I'm saying this about the Democratic Party, the party I vote for, the party that I'm a part of. They do a good job of being transparent of what they're trying to actually accomplish and what they really truly intend to do and what their plan is. And why the other side's winning is because even though I don't agree with it all fundamentally, they're saying what they're going to do and they're fucking following through with it. And if you want to relate that back to a marriage podcast, which is what we are, if you're doing things or saying things and you're not following through with them and you're in a relationship, you're losing value as far as what you're bringing to the table as a human being.
Well, any relationship that will happen.
Yeah. And here's the thing. If you're not working together as partners, Democratic, Republican Party, if you're not working together, you're not paying the bills in the home, you're not taking care of your family properly, you're not seeing eye to eye on things, guess what happens? The fucking lights go out.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. That's what's happening here.
Yeah.
You got two parties. Here's the deal. At the end of the day, you vote Republican, you vote Democrat. The point is our founding fathers built this process to allow for bipartisan politics, meaning that there's a party of conserving resources and there's a party of human and social services. Mm-hmm. They're supposed to go together. They're not supposed to fight each other. And the fact that we've completely lost that as a country is just absolutely insane to me. You're supposed to have both, and they're supposed to keep each other in check.
Right.
What are we doing? So, I mean, again, as an average American citizen, as a husband, as a father, as your husband, we have to take responsibility for this. We're putting people in power and we're supporting a system that is not doing the things that at the core we're expecting. So why are we continuing to allow that?
Right.
Just because we don't like the other side so much that we're just willing to put up with whatever happens? So long as we win?
It's not fair. It's not right. But, Trump was saying today that layoffs for federal workers could start as early as tomorrow. Vance was like, well, we haven't really decided yet. Well, I guarantee you, if Trump has made it known, something's going to happen. Like he doesn't step off of his word.
Well, it's not going to be the shit on Trump show, but it is like, this has already been, I don't know why we're surprised by this. We've literally had the process of government laying off federal employees already. So this doesn't really change that. But what I will say is that
all of those people that already lost their job, there's going to be even more.
Well, from a services perspective and from those sorts of things, like we're at a point where, to me, it's egregious that I think at the bare minimum, these parties need to come together and figure out how to properly fund the government. Now, how much the government is involved and how that's evolving and changing, fine, whatever. But the inability and why we're using this for political posture, it's just gone beyond being effective. And I don't think either side, right or left, from an American citizen standpoint, we're okay with it.
I don't think so. I don't think anyone on any side is happy about it.
It's not okay. Whether you're on the right, you voted for Trump, or you're on the left and you didn't. At some point, this has got to stop. It's affecting our wallets. It's affecting just everything in general. And you can blame one side or another. It has taken a entire country to get us to where we are. And not just in the last 8 years. You're talking about the last 20 years. And I love you, Obama. I'm not shitting on you by any means. I absolutely love you, President Obama. But I'm just saying in general, like, we've been heading toward this direction with this very extremist lack of bipartisan politics for a period of time. I just think we're at a peak of that right now.
Because in my opinion, we have a leader who doesn't understand the word compromise.
You think so? You think it's just him not compromising, or do you think it's? I'm fine with that. That's fine. I don't think he helps that at all.
He has given his direction to the Republican Party. He's not going to compromise. And so the Democratic Party is now going to take that same stance and say, I didn't, like, if you're not going to compromise, I'm not going to compromise. And then, like,
well, I don't think he wanted to compromise. He actually even said that, hey, we can just do this through the Republicans. And then as soon as that, filibuster 60 votes thing came into play, all of a sudden it's like, well, I'm willing to listen to him. But here's the end of the day is it doesn't benefit, in my opinion, it doesn't benefit the Democratic Party. The deal's not getting done. It does benefit the Republican Party, because I think it's really easy to pass it on to the constituents that voted for them, that this is because of the Democrats and healthcare and the things that they say don't benefit them. But here's the thing, what I will say about that. Healthcare. every single citizen that pays taxes in this country as an actual legal citizen deserves, in my opinion, very affordable, if not free, healthcare, where they're not taking $500, $600 out of their paycheck every fucking month. And I think that's something that both sides can agree upon. And I think it's something that both sides aren't giving us. And while I will say it's great that the Democratic Party wants to do some reforms, the fact is that you didn't get universal health care right in the first place, which was your goal. And I think that's being a Democratic voter. That's what's frustrating. You say you want to have universal health care, and then you just concede and don't do it. And then you have a party, and I'm not going to vote for them, but you have a party where there's people are saying things that literally make no sense to me as some of the things they want to do or accomplish, but they're fucking doing them. And you're not going to pull over voters that are kind of on the fence or on the line by half-assing your agenda and not following through on it.
No, you're going to have to say what you mean and mean what you say.
So I don't mean to be gloom and doom. I just don't think we're at a very positive place historically in the political process.
No.
And I don't foresee this getting better. I foresee it initially getting worse before it does get better.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I mean, I agree. The fact that the House won't be in session at all this week. The Senate returns on Friday.
Doesn't matter.
Nothing's
they
going to... They
get
their paycheck. But nothing's going to get solved.
We need our kids' passports before we go on vacation.
Please.
We can figure that out. I'm joking around saying that, but there's people, their lives are being fucking affected.
Absolutely.
And you guys, at the end of the day, I believe this truly in my core. Literally, besides the one politician I just mentioned earlier, I don't think y'all give a fuck. I just don't believe it. And I'm proven otherwise. You just don't. I mean, you just don't. And that is where we are. And that's why we are in the shit that we're in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we have to hang in there. Hey, you know what? We've been through periods of history where, things aren't going well. You have your bad times. You have your good times. We just have to go through it as gracefully as possible. But I do think we need to try to do the best we can do when it comes to being voting citizens, of being tolerant of having differences of opinion and then trying to work together to find a common ground. Finding that common ground will then allow us then to push the people that are in office to do better. And then eventually when they're up for re-election, if they're not doing what they're doing, then we can collectively as a group get them the fuck out of there. And until we figure that out, we're going to be at the mercy of this shit show that we're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which isn't going anywhere for a while.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. But there's one thing we can
celebrate the little stuff.
Right? We covered the shutdown. Let's turn to something positive.
Peloton.
Our Peloton crew. The Do We Have To crew, the wonderful Peloton team that Emily and I started. We're continuing to grow. We are damn near that century mark as a team. We're so close. We're in the 90s now, or 89, 80s. Either way, we have a great team that is busting their ass. We had over 218 hours last week.
Wow.
Yep.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And we'll be announcing next week on the show, we'll be announcing the top 20. So every week, Emily and I, mostly every week, because I guess we're not doing it right now, but mostly every week, Emily and I will announce the top 20 of our Peloton team. So each week there's a challenge of how many hours or how much time in general you work out for. What was that? Is that our lock just going off? Why?
Because it
scared the shit out of me.
The time at night that if our front door hasn't locked.
Shout out to Vivint Security.
Locked.
You barely work half the time. And then when we're trying to film a podcast, you didn't even lock properly. So thank you for protecting us as much as our politicians do. Top 20. What's wrong?
My phone just shut off.
Did it really?
Yeah. We can finish it without my video.
Okay. Well, we lost Emily on the video feed. But what I will say, the top 20 of the Peloton team, we will continue to announce that every week. So next week we'll be back with that, right?
Yeah.
And then, Emily, we're going to have our socials.
Yeah. Really quick, though, if you're on Peloton, they just announced that they are bringing a lot of some updates to the Peloton app. And so they're doing like a cross-training situation. So I'm excited to see how that rolls out, see how that plays in.
What do you mean?
Like they're doing, I think it's an involvement of the stack, like where you can do like a strength class, then your cycle, then your treadmill or whatever.
Oh, you stack them all together?
Yeah. I think
nice.
This is like a fluid thing. Like it'll take you through cross training in like personalized programs.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that.
That's the thing about Peloton. I think a lot of people associate it with their machines because that's, I assume, how they make a majority of the revenue outside of just taking a monthly fee for the app. But you actually don't have to have any of the machines. You don't need the bike. You don't need the rowing machine. You don't need the treadmill. You can utilize their app for a monthly fee. You can track your running. You can track your strength training timing. And you can be a part of the Do We Have To crew without even having to own a device.
Yep.
And how can you follow us, Sam?
You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at do.we.have.to. TikTok is a marriage pod, and X is Do We Have To pod.
Do We Have To podcast C.
Yeah.
And then, of course, at YouTube, it's youtube.com/@Do We Have To a marriage podcast. Mm-hmm. And again, the Do We Have To crew is a team. You can follow me at Do We Have To pod KC, and Emily is Emily_in_KC. You add us, or we can add you into the team, but you can certainly follow us. And we'll continue to provide you content. So, of course, you can train with us on the Peloton app, and then, of course, see all of our shorts and updates on the show on the wonderful apps.
Yes.
Final thoughts on today's show, Em. Political, 90s nostalgia. Let's get deep. What are your overall thoughts on where we're at in life?
I just feel like everybody needs to get back to the core of just being a good person. Like, just remember that we are all people at the end of the day, and we are all just trying to survive. So let's just be kind.
Yeah. I mean, I think to your point, I think we've lost sight of the bigger picture. I think we have stopped focusing on taking accountability for our own actions. So what do you do when you stop taking accountability for your own actions? You want to stop improving as a human being. You start judging everything else outside of you because it makes you feel better. Mm-hmm. And I say that as somebody who's guilty of that too, doing that. The reason why we're shitting on each other all the time now is because we don't want to take any accountability or responsibility of making ourselves the best that we possibly can be. And you're seeing that not only with the individuals that are shitting on each other online, through the media, those sorts of things, but you're seeing that going all the way up to the highest power in the country. Mm-hmm. And that's why we are where we are. And until we make that change, till we start focusing on ourselves and start improving ourselves, which will then trickle down to improving everything else, I think we're going to continue to see this.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, for the Do We Have To crew, we're going to be right here with you, and we're going to continue bringing content to you. Stay tuned for next week's show, as we're going to dive into the top 5 conspiracies of the show Bluey.
I'm so excited.
So we're gonna liven things up a little bit. A lot of parents and a lot of married couples are familiar, or a lot of individuals are familiar with the show Bluey from the Disney Network, an Australian show about 2 dogs living life and being parents. We are going to theorize and discuss and debate the top 5 conspiracy theories of that show. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love you, Tom.
Love you too, babe.
Wake up.